Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Joey sitting up here in Wells, BC. Yeah, 3,953 feet above sea level with some clearing skies. Starting to finally get a little nicer out there. We had quite a bit of rain and a little bit of snow yesterday here in Wells. Just the flurries kind of lingered in the mountains. Didn't want to quite depart us yet, but that is gone. That is gone. Storm is still rocking out east there, making large snowfall totals in places that aren't necessarily used to having them that early in November most years, typically. That's true. Got a new storm coming into BC that I think that between now and Friday could put up to 50 centimeters of snow or more, give or take, on some of the big mountains. That's a pretty significant snowfall coming in. Now, I think if you're at low elevation in southern BC, you're going to see, none. If you're going over, the Allison Pass or Highway 3, wow, that one animal hair on my hat really annoyed me. I got it. You're going over Highway 3 or the Coquihalla, you might run into some snow, but this is kind of more of a central BC event that is going to really express itself by putting big snow on the mountaintops. There it is. This is bad news. My God.
Falling out right now.
Anything could happen.
Get on!
Wow. I'll watch the video later.
They dry up in this.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, hit like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Caribou Weather Dude is back again here in Wells, BC, needing the support greatly. I've lost a huge amount of revenue now that I can't post on Facebook. It's never ending, man. I was out of Facebook jail for 4 days. I didn't say anything. I was talking about the Raelian people cult. And they're like, we think you need help. I'm like, yes, I do, but that's got nothing to fucking do with this post. Anyways, whatever I said, I got 10 less subscribers on the channel here today. And I just want to say to any of you that might have found me too redneck and working class, too offensive. I don't say city things. I'm not don't speak the Queen's English. I'm not polite. And you got offended and you decided not to watch my show anymore. You're like, that guy doesn't care about ostriches enough. Whatever it is that you didn't like about me, fuck off. So no, not really planning to change much. I'm just incapable of it. That's more what it is. On the Big Coast Mountains, up to 70 centimeters of snow here in the Rockies and Caribous, and maybe even allow a little bit down into the Columbias. You could see 30 to 50, 60 centimeters, yeah, depending where. I think it seems like it'll be a little bit lower into the north here. Seems like the biggest is that area outside Blue River there, kind of heading towards the Big Rockies. As you can see, though, if you're down in Kelowna and Kamloops, you might not see anything of this snowfall. Certainly Vancouver won't. Will you get any rain instead? Yeah, you might get rain in those places. So southern BC, just because you don't get snow doesn't mean you won't get a little bit of precip through this. But as you can see, the Caribou's not looking at a great deal of rain or snow. So things have pretty much quieted out. We got a lot of warm weather headed to Manitoba this week. That's going to be exceptional. So they're talking about breaking records. There's people reporting green grass. I cannot hit this little red line for anything. People are talking about green grass in Saskatchewan today. Green grass there, 20 to 30 centimeters of snow up on South Klondike Highway near White Pass and Haines Road through this afternoon with gusty winds. People in Saskatchewan are used to seeing weather that's much more extremely cold than this at this time of year. Still seeing snow squalls off of Georgian Bay, Lake Huron, and whatnot. Snow squall warnings through there because the warm water and the cooler air is passing over it, and it picks up that snow, and it could make up to 5 to 10 centimeters per hour. So it's crazy. An intense band of lake effect snow continues to affect areas south and southeast of Lake Huron this morning. Toronto taking some of its first snowfall warning in Lac Saint-Jean. And then as you go to the east coast, you can see, wow, freezing rain warning with 2 millimeters of accretion. 2 millimeters probably won't put your power out, but not good. Blizzard warning up in the far north there in some place that should I try to say it? Kanjik-Swalajuak. Kanjik-Swalajuak. I can say that. That's easy shit. Fucking, what's wrong with you people? Can't you say Kanjik-Swalajuak? Okay. Meanwhile, special weather statement there too, 10 to 20 centimeters there, up along wind warning, up to 110 kilometers unless you go right down to the Newfoundland coast there, where it could be even up to 130 millimeters of rain there. And South Shore over here, rainfall warning. You kind of get the impression. So if you're in Newfoundland right now, you want to find someone who's a Newfoundland weatherman probably and listen to him, 100 kilometer an hour. You're probably aware this has been going on for days. Coming up right off the top here, look at the new records we set yesterday. Brooks, Alberta, 18 degrees, broke the old record that was set in 1941. Camrose up to 14, Esther's up to 15.7, Hendrickson Creek 12, and on down. Jasper, 14.4 Celsius. That's nuts. That's nuts. And meanwhile, over in British Columbia, we have also our daily maximum records that were set. This kind of does surprise me. I mean, I said it was going to warm up. I didn't really think when I said that we were talking, breaking records. I just thought we were going to warm up for a little bit, ahead of that system. So surprisingly, we saw a couple records that are intense. Cache Creek hits 16.3. Ashcroft hits 16.3 Celsius yesterday. That's fucking wild. Hope area 14.8. Pemberton 12.1. Salmon Arm up to 14.6. That's pretty crazy, man. And that's going to go right towards Saskatchewan next and go towards Manitoba. They're going to see a good warm-up here in the next couple days for them. They're going to be the ones breaking some records there. Meanwhile, summary of snowfall from official observation sites. Hamilton took 16 cents, Ottawa 11.7, Pearson took up to 10 centimeters. In my hometown, CFB Trenton took 10 centimeters. That's right, I was born in Trenton, Ontario back in 1979. Went to Air Cadets there, although I lived an hour north of Trenton. I didn't want to go to Army Cadets, so went down to CFB Trenton. They actually sent a bus north, too, so I didn't have to drive all the way down, go about halfway, meet the bus. The bus took you to base transport. That's where our squadron HQ was. So that's why I was a Legion member, straight up. A straight-up Legion member, because I achieved the rank of sergeant or flight sergeant or something like that in Air Cadets. Took some survival courses. Badass stuff. Snowfall, Arden, 15.5. That's just north of Mum's place there. Kitchener, 15 cents there. Stittsville, 13.5. Metcalf, 12.4. Kingston, 12 centimeters. Richmond Hill and Whitby, both 12. The same with Drummond Center and Mississauga. King City, 10.4. Bolton, 10.2. And on down, Brighton, 9.9, where Mum went to high school. Conscon, not too far from there, 8.4. Caledonia, 8. So that's like a wide range of locations, actually, if you look at where those all are on the map. It's like a wide range of locations. It's not like one area just got kind of hit pretty good. Quebec seeing snowfall. Tremblant up to 12 centimeters. 12 Riviere, 14 La Tuque and Bagotville, 14 Longueuil, 19 Montreal downtown is 20. Fredericksburg, 21. Massive de Charlevoix took 28 centimeters. Roberval, 31. And Montmorency Forest, 35 centimeters. Jonquière, 29.6. Le Tap, 34.1. Freezing rain was reported in Montreal, St. Hubert, Mirabel, Quebec City. Meanwhile, Saskatchewan seeing daily maximum temperature records. I was just saying this, 15.4 for the Elbow area. Kindersley, 15. There's green grass on Hank Vleistra's yard. 17.6 in Leader, 14.7 Lucky Lake, 19 in Maple Creek. These are pretty wild temperatures, man. Yeah, I got to admit, I'm a little bit depressed. I just started getting into this. Facebook offered me, if you can do this in the next 10 days, you'll make an extra $100. I'm like, hell yeah, I could use an extra $100. And then they're like, no, you're in Facebook jail. You can't complete your mission, by the way. And then YouTube said they're going to pay me $1,000. I was like, what happened? Is there a bunch of old videos that they're giving me revenue for? And then they corrected it and said, no, it's only $500 this month we're giving you. I can't live on that. Struggling to keep the channel going here, folks. 14, 15 months on it. And, at some point, I don't know if I keep saying this, hoping that people will believe me, because the day will come where I say to myself, I'm going to have to take this job and not be your weatherman anymore. I can't continue to live like this. All I needed, my goal was 10,000 subscribers. I figured if I had 10,000, I'd start getting enough ad revenue that I could watch this grow and I could survive and fight my way through it. But this year, I did not make 10,000 subscribers. And it turns out, interestingly enough, that people just fucking don't like me. And that's making it really hard to be good at this, social media thing. They want someone who like says the things that they say and says, repeats the things they want to hear. Like it's a weather machine, or the hope for humanity's Pierre Polyev, or some lie. They just want me to repeat the lies that make them feel comfortable. And I don't do that. And I don't do that for left-wing people. I don't do that for right-wing people. Nobody fucking likes what I have to say. That's like hard part being a critic. Everyone's like, we need critics. I'm like, okay, I'll step up and do it. And they're like, no, you're being too critical. It's really tough. So I don't know how I'm going to survive here, but thanks to everybody on the Patreon. Thanks to everybody kicking in the donations there. People like Ann sending me $50. You're the reason why the channel continues to succeed and grow. Anyways, interesting looking thing down here. So first of all, you got one thing you're going to notice is the big anomaly of the big east coaster going on here, the big east storm. That's been putting snow down in Toronto, making things generally shitty, and it's just going to kind of hang around there for a while. And it's also brought, drag temperatures down in the United States there for a little bit, right down. So we should see a bit of recovery starting on that soon. See a little bit of a rebound in some of those cold temperatures that made their way down. You can see the ridging right there, sending some of that. And that's the warmth that's going to go across and temporarily bump temperatures up, I think, as well for Saskatchewan, Manitoba, whatnot. We'll try to pause it here. There comes the ridging. Boom. So there's your ridging. There's the warm air spilling up into the prairies like Saskatchewan and Alberta just had. That's coming for you next, Manitoba. Enjoy it. So this will change the story for the cold weather that made its way to the United States. However, look at this big troughing system here. It looks like there's going to be fairly active weather along the U.S. coast, and then some of that's going to actually make its way inland there and provide some active weather as it travels across the United States. So I'm not here to be your tornado guy and talk about that stuff mostly. I'm a Canadian weatherman. Okay, so by the weekend, what's going to happen for BC next? Well, we've been in this pattern. One thing that's been kind of different lately I've been noticing, and that's what's happening with this next storm, is we're having an angle change from where our storms are coming from. So for a long time, we've had up here in this area here, this upper level low pattern. This started sometime at the end of July, when the weather changed in BC. We went from very hot and very dry to suddenly being a province that was getting a lot of rainfall on a consistent basis. So what happened then was our storms started really centering themselves up in northern BC. The Alaska Panhandle got hit a lot, right? And we would find ourselves in that dry sector. So we had a pretty stormy go this last year and some. However, we found ourselves also in that area this area here where the ridging comes, where the warm air comes up before, because our storms have been kind of centered up here. And what it's meant is some parts of BC weren't getting the precipitation they needed, including Vancouver Island, southern BC and whatnot. That this upper level low pattern was having an effect of shoveling things kind of into central BC a little bit. Yeah, we saw some improvement in the Caribou, but we also saw some thunderstorm outbreaks because that pattern just kind of sat there for a long time, shoveling in a certain way. So what we're seeing now is storms coming from this west sector on a northeast kind of ride. And we're going to see this when we look at the updates here. You're going to see how there's an angle change on where our weather's coming from. Now, it's notable because it means that the places that are going to get snow and rain is going to change. We're going to take more direct hits from the weather. We're going to take more direct hits. Well, I mean, we'll look at this pattern coming up, and maybe it'll help make more sense. But there's that upper level low pattern there in the United States I was talking about that comes from that shitty weather along the coast. There it is, going inland. So that screams to me severe weather outbreak. So maybe sometime next week, but around the 18th, 19th, 20th, you might see some severe weather breaking out in the United States, tornado weather, severe thunderstorms, things like that. So, here's still that upper level location I was just talking about. This is where the pattern has largely been, kind of sitting up here. But watch, we're going to have something put itself up towards BC coast here, going to travel northeast. And this is what I'm talking about. See that cold air has bulged all the way down from the storm system out east. So cold air all the way down right to the Florida border. Thunderstorms off the U.S. coast, off the Canadian East Coast. There was some risk of thunderstorms in Nova Scotia yesterday. I didn't hear much about that. But 988 low is still pretty powerful low there in the middle of the province, middle of Atlantic Canada. And you see that high pressure's rebounding, seeing that warm weather taking back over the United States there. Not so much for Canada, no. And then our storm is now sitting like right over Newfoundland and then intensifying again, actually getting stronger because it's now finding more fuel. But here's that location I was talking about. This isn't a very well-developed storm, but here is the pattern of boom, straight up into the BC coast, straight in through southern BC and into Alberta by the time Friday hits. Now we're looking at a weekend story for the prairies, although it looks like a lot of southern prairies are going to be seeing that. This is the bumping up of that ridging, that warm air, so you can see Manitoba warming up actually before the weekend. And then, you take a bit of rain and further you go north, snow as you get into the weekend. So we've had one storm go through BC. Now it's Sunday. Next storm comes in again. So that's 2 storms for BC now between here and next week, Tuesday. And now we're a week out. So we'll just run through the next 24 to 36 hours quickly for you here now, and then we'll get on out for the afternoon. As you can tell, though, today's going to be a pretty nice day, an improving day, and then we'll see conditions deteriorate as these systems come 1 and then 2 into the BC coast over the next bunch of days. But this, starting on Wednesday, is when our next change of weather starts. Going to get crappy. You can see that upper level low up there. You can see it's still up there. It hasn't gone away completely yet. And that's helping provide a bit of a racetrack for our storms to sort of come in because that motion's already going counterclockwise in the North Pacific. I'm just curious if this is going to break down at all and see a change, and if we're going to have more of a straight pounding like we've had now, a number of storms in a row coming straight in like this. So that's just my own observation I'm curious about. We'll see where that goes over the next bunch of months. There's that upper level low I was talking about there still. Throwing moisture, crap, and all that at, a little bit of the BC mountains, but mostly the Alaska Panhandle. Some of it sneaking into the Yukon a little bit. Fairly nice day. High pressure today, Tuesday. Looking nice. Vernon almost double digits there. Maybe getting up to 10 degrees. High pressure owning most of the province. Feels good. Feels nice. Let's get outside, get something done today. Pretty nice out through the prairies there. Pretty nice and sunny even in some parts of Western Canada. Even pretty nice. But here comes the next storm. It's not fully developed. 1007 central pressure. And you're like, well, that's not a big deal. And it just sort of gets itself organized, though, right in time. Ready? Here it goes. Boom. It's starting to pull itself together. Now it's reaching the coast. It's kind of morphed itself. It's dropped 1003. It's got a new center. Trying to find where it's going. Trying to find a way in. A little bit of snow and terrace. A little bit of precip in southern BC. And not incredibly windy. Not crazy. No, not like we've seen for some of our storms. Not a really well-developed storm. Not entirely cohesive. However, cohesive enough. Snowfall into northern BC, terrace straight on up. You could draw a line from there to Fort Nelson. That's probably where your snow is going to come across through the Amanika. Now we got rainfall heavy in the BC coast. That low tried to be something. It tried to be something. Now it's got like reforming again, reorganizing itself, trying to find a way, sliding right up the coastline, heading right for Vancouver Island, headed right for, we've ran out of tape. Okay, well, we just got to go to ECMWF here, and then we'll go to Thursday. Again, Thursday, 2 a.m., lower resolution model, but you can see that is our low. We got snowfall Thursday in the morning, right up into the Peace. Look out for some snow up there. Bit of rainfall maybe in the Caribou, the bigger mountains taking some snow. Maybe a mix in Prince George. Maybe heavy rainfall in the coast mountains. Concerns me a little bit for snow melt. Snow melt, taking a lot of snow there, but then taking a lot of rain at the same time. Over the same number of days. So maybe see some elevated water levels through there. That new low organizing itself into the prairies and on the backside now, taking all the shit into BC. So you've already seen we're going to have a mix of weather. Wednesday night into Thursday, going to be nasty. We're going to see some special weather statements get put out. Going to see the mountaintops take a lot of snow. Then that's going to move over to the Alberta side. Now we're talking heavy snow all through the northern half of Alberta and the western part there into Friday, 2 a.m. Snowfall. You do not travel through Banff Thursday night into Friday if you can help it. Do not travel through the Rocky Mountains if you can help it. If you are, the further south you are, the less chance of snow, maybe a bit of a mix of rain, but if you're in the middle of the night, you're probably going to see snow no matter what. Large low now, making it pretty windy in the prairies. Seeing another wind event there. Already had one lately. Seeing that temperature bump up. And the front side, you can see the warm air that feeds this mid-latitude cyclone, making for temperatures even up above double digits for Regina, Winnipeg up to 10 degrees. Now heading its way up into Nunavut, Arviat taking some heavy weather. Churchill taking some heavy weather in time for Friday overnight. Seeing a clearing in BC by the time the weekend comes. Seeing conditions deteriorating in much of Manitoba and Saskatchewan. Not if you're at the very far south, I don't think, the very border country. And then boom, yeah, big storm for Manitoba this weekend. Big story for them to be talking about, so make sure you're tuned into Manitoba. Here comes our next storm, Saturday night up to the BC coast. That's our next story to talk about here on the channel. Weekend storm. There you go. Sunday going to be gross. Going to be gross on Sunday. Sunday's another day you don't want to be traveling, so make your plans ahead of time. Well, that's all I got to say today. I'm going to go back now and stare at the wall for the rest of the day. I just turned off all my gadgets yesterday and all my internet, and it's like, I don't care. No one can talk to me then. Fine. I can't post on Facebook. I can't do anything. I'm watching my empire crumble. I'm just going to sit here and play baseball on my PlayStation 4. That's right. Got more content coming today, though. Do my best to make sure you check out my video I put out yesterday about the leprechaun sighting in Quesnel. Yeah, strange glowing green things in the tree. I'm not making this up. There's a strange glowing green thing in the tree. It wasn't actually a leprechaun. I know what it was. It was a phosphorescent algae or fungus that actually glows green. Yeah, foxfire it's called. Learn about all that and more on the channel. More videos here. There's more besides just a guy talking about weather. There's a guy who's really trying hard. That's what there is. Yeah, okay. Fuck. Bye now.